dog owner was stating that her dogs got into a fight with a raccoon. Raccoon's still alive, so we need to go get it picked up, and it's injured pretty bad, so we need to go ahead and humanely euthanize the animal and bring him in for a head test.
Raccoon calls we get at least, we get them every day, I would say. Raccoons are pretty common. Raccoons and skunks are both very common. A fox, coyote, the bat, those pretty rare.
So he's responding to a call about a raccoon, and he's talking about the top 5 carriers of rabies, and that really sort of focuses on what your main mission in animal services is. It's not adopting pets, but it's dealing with cases like this.
That's a good point. That we're licensed by the state. We have our inspection by the state. We follow the state laws and ordinances and procedures. And so what's going on is our primary goal, what we're tasked with, is the study of zoonosis, which is simply the prevention of the spread of disease from animals to humans that mostly manifests in the way of rabies. That would be our entire existence, is to prevent the spread of rabies to humans.
So he's about to encounter a really angry raccoon. Let's see what happens.
Is the raccoon pretty hurt?
Yeah.
Oh.
It is.
So they got into.
Unfortunately, and it's not a huge one.
No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, he's breathing pretty heavy there. Hey, buddy. Ah, shoot. Let go. You know what? I'm about to snare him. Hang on, let me just get him. Yeah. You're pretty lively there, buddy. Let me give you a look. Thank you.
Okay, so let's stop right here and let's talk a little bit about how he handled this animal. I think a lot of people think raccoons are these cute, cuddly creatures a la Ranger Rick or Rocky the Raccoon, when really and truly they have razor sharp teeth, they have razor sharp claws. They are aggressive. If people encounter them, they should never approach a raccoon, should they?
That's a good point. Really, if it's a raccoon, a skunk, of course a fox, bat, coyote, not to touch, but the raccoons and skunks, I think, are what's most prevalent in our area and what people most commonly come in contact with. And so if you do ever encounter a raccoon or a skunk, don't touch it, don't approach it, don't try to do anything with it, because it is one of those top 5 rabies carrier, and it is wildlife, and so we want to protect folks in that way.
Yeah, we have to send it off to get tested for rabies, just in case the animal is rabid, the dog's been exposed to the rabies. Let them know that they need to get a booster shot. Make sure keep an eye on the dog that it doesn't become rabid. But the lady did luckily say she did have dogs that rabies shot, which is of course to prevent that. The booster is just just another adding to it, just to make absolutely sure the dog won't get rabies.
So after one of our potential rabies carriers has been euthanized and is taken back to the animal shelter, the head is removed and sent for testing, and talk about why that is.
We send it to the state lab for testing because if we do have a confirmed case of rabies, even in wildlife in our community, we would step up and be extra vigilant with the live trapping of these animals, with where they're exposed to people, where they're most likely to come in contact with people, that we would need to go ahead and nip that in the bud and do the best we can to eradicate rabies from our community.
And he makes a really good point about responsible pet ownership, and that is make sure that your animal's rabies shots, both your cats and your dogs, are current, and that you get those booster shots whenever your vet says that they do need those.
Yes, that's correct. That's the first step that any pet owner can do, is make sure that that rabies is current. In the event that your animal does become exposed to the bodily fluids of one of these top 5 rabies carriers, again, your pet's probably most likely going to come in contact with a skunk or a raccoon. In the event they come in contact with bodily fluids, check with your vet, see about getting a booster. They can advise on how best to proceed.
So that's clocked in. If there's a particular city job that you'd like to know more about, contact us. We'll be happy to focus on it.